Aha, welcome everyone. Yay, as you can see, we have our injured party member back with us. And this is the reason why it took so long for the stream to start, because she'd been gone for so long. There had been so many updates with Skype that I basically had to redo her camera completely. So, now everything works, and I believe sound is also good.
I hope. Oh.
All right.
I can't check.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's okay. All right. So, for everyone watching, welcome among us. This is Drakenmemoria, and if you're wondering what this is, well, it's a group of people who are going to play Dungeons and Dragons. And this is, if this is not something that you would enjoy, well, brace yourself, because we're not changing our schedule. So you're stuck with us, or you're going to have to go away and look at something else. For everyone else, if you're new, welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's also a pleasure to have you with us. And if you're wondering what happened previously, because you might have skipped an episode, or, it's been 1 week, and since even with the players, sometimes they forget things when it's only been a few days. So I can understand that a viewer might forget something that happened a week ago. Try to imagine my surprise when I learned that players forget things 5 minutes after.
What?
All right. Well, so far, 5 minutes hasn't been all that common with this group. But, again, my friend, if you're watching, yes, I am talking about you. And no, I won't name you, just in case there are other people who knows you watching. Yes, I have had players with the memories of... Well, actually, I was going to say goldfish, but we've recently proven that goldfish actually do have memories, so not sure what kind of memory you have, but it's not a good one.
Memory of a puppy dog, an excited puppy dog.
No.
Oh, even that can be surprising.
Maybe Dory from Finding Nemo.
There you go.
She at least has 15 seconds.
Yeah. That's already too much.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there's someone right now that if they're watching, they're completely red, face completely red inside in their chair, and saying, "Please don't say my name." Don't worry, I won't.
Like, don't call me out like that.
All right, so previously, the party, which was composed of Anvara, Audience, Remy, and Fisher, decided to take their first bounty from the garden. A bounty which stated that they needed to hunt down a Umber Hulk, skin it, and bring back its scales so that a enthusiastic gnome could try and make armors out of it. Armors which could be worn by anyone not wishing to wear metal armor. So that includes druids and a few priests who might have a ideological problem with wearing metal. So the party gladly decided to take on this task. Even though they didn't actually know, well, one did, but the rest of the party didn't actually know what a Umber Hulk was. So they all ventured out. They were ambushed by goblins. They were ambushed by followers. Well, one follower of the god cult. For the first time, they actually had to face off against a priest who actually managed to escape when he saw the fight wasn't going his way. And then the party finally got to meet an elemental creature which they had been carrying in their backpack for so long. Unfortunately, first time they summoned it too late, and the second time, well, he was having a whole lot of problems succeeding his saving throw, so he wasn't much help during the fight.
And performance issues.
You know, it happens.
1 in every 4 ends.
And, you know, after 5,000 years, sometime it...
It's a little dusty.
Wood
yeah,
doesn't work like it
Pressure.
used to.
The sap doesn't flow as freely.
yeah. Especially this one. Every time he goes back, the wood just dies. Imagine what it does to your insides. And so the party decided to go inside the mine and hunt the Umber Hulk. And as stated, the Umber Hulk had quite an effect on the party, as most of the party ended up learning why so few people actually remembered fighting a Umber Hulk. From the point of view of audience and Remy, the fight was interesting, a little bit hard, frightening for one, challenging for the other one. For the rest of the party, however, the fight was fragmented in their memories. This is the best way we could describe it. They saw it, then they saw it again, and then they saw that a party member was down. They healed it, and then the Umber Hulk was dead. That's about what Anvara, Fisher, and the poor elemental creature Orunak remember of the fight. Once they actually managed to kill the Umber Hulk, they started to look around and realize that something had been healing the Umber Hulk during the fight. Not sure what to do with this, but pretty sure that meant someone actually wanted the Umber Hulk to do all these ravages. So the hit on the Dwarven mine was sponsored by someone. They decided to skin the Umber Hulk in the corridor. Audience decided to carve out a lunch for himself out of the Umber Hulk. And they all decided to go back to the surface to tell the leader, owner, person in charge of the mine that the problem had been solved. And so they dragged the pieces of scale they managed to skin and a large piece of lunch back to the surface. Because it's been so long since Valtteri was among us, let me fill you in a little bit about what happened with her. When she was inside the garden and the other decided to go on their quest, unfortunately she received a little bit of an anxiety attack. Found all of this a little bit overwhelming, big structure, a lot of secrets, nature inside a building, a weird object gifted to her, which had been calling her for a while. So she basically rolled up into a ball and told everyone that she would be joining them later on. However, when the morning came, she found out that she was more alone than she expected, as most of the other adventurers inside the garden also decided to go on quests. The only friend she had for over a month, every day, almost every day of her life, was gone on a quest. She felt pretty alone, so she decided to figure out where her friend had gone, found someone to help her make the way without this being too dangerous for her, and then left, hoping that she would get there before the party was killed. She made most of her way with Amiali, who had taken a quest for the garden. She talked a bit with her and her half-brother, and she took her all the way to the village, the town, which was at the entrance of this narrow gorge throughout the mountain. And there she simply slept one day and then went on to her way to try and catch up with the group. Fortunately, she didn't manage to arrive as the party was going inside the mine. No, she actually found herself chasing them and learning that they actually went inside a mine. Another thing with close quarters. And this is how far she got. She just found out which was the door which led to where her friends were supposed to be, and she had just entered this very large, rather clean, very well made dwarven mine. Because as we all know, we call this a mine, but dwarves call this home. So it's clean, it's beautiful, it's well made, and for some reason excessively high compared to their heights. So she made her way all the way inside this cavern, this mine, which almost looks like the hallway of a church. Monastery, really. And found herself in the middle of all this action with dwarves going left and right, all reporting to this single dwarf in the middle of an incredibly large room. This dwarf is yelling orders left and right, asking for more resource for one shaft, sending people down another shaft because there was a problem. This shaft collapsed again, and she finds herself among all of this jumble of people screaming out orders and trying to figure out what to do next. And so, since it's been so long since you've been among us, we're gonna start with you, Valteris.
Totally not my character getting a panic attack seeing so many random people.
She didn't expect that she was going to go from one psychological trauma to the next one. Life has been very traumatizing for her for the past month.
What I also forgot to ask you, if my little friend is also with me or not.
Oh, if you wanted her to follow you there, knowing that you would be going up against a monster that you don't know much about, but apparently a few people were very confident that the party could actually kill it. Well, yes, if you wanted her to follow you on that quest, absolutely, she can be there.
Okay. I'm probably... okay. How large is the room I'm in with the guy shouting?
Well, for Valtteri, it wouldn't give her much of an idea if I said that. It's most likely close to 100 feet wide. Roughly circular. Sort of like standing inside the dome of a large cathedral. And it's decorated roughly the same. Because they're dwarves.
Am I able to see my group here, or are they not there yet?
No, as you get in, as you get inside this huge hall, no, you don't see them anywhere.
Okay. I'm going to the dude who is shouting around, giving orders.
Alright. Well, as you approach, you can hear him a bit more clearly, turning toward dwarves. Where are the material that I've been asking for? You keep delaying this. Go down the first shaft. Give them their material. You there! Heal those dwarfs. They've been injured. He's not paying attention to you right now. He's just talking over your head, and you don't seem to be existing.
I don't know if I should tap him or not. I'll tap him on the shoulder and excuse me.
Alright, do you try to approach him from the front or the
From
rear?
the front.
From the front?
The front.
Alright, well, as you approach him and you gesture to tap on his shoulder, which he takes as someone trying to ask a question, for a moment, yes, why are you here?
I'm looking for my group, a really tall one, a dragonborn, called Audience, then another dwarf, not Warforged, construct named Fisher. I forgot what you two races are.
Anvara and Remy, you don't know them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know us.
And have you seen those two, maybe?
I'm not sure about the names, but there was a dragonborn, tall fellow, seemed very confident of himself.
Yeah, that's
It's been, I'd say, around 2 hours, so I think you're late. They might be dead.
What?
Not a bad guess.
Well, they've been down inside a shaft where dwarves have been disappearing, and some have been found dismembered, heavily injured, with tales of a monster appearing from nowhere, and then disappearing with half the group and bits and pieces of dwarves. They've been down in that shaft for roughly 2 hours, so I'm sorry, miss, but I think you're too late.
Where's the shaft?
This is Dungeons and Dragons. Do not worry too much about it.
Where's the entrance to where they went?
Valtteri, I think the color of your face is changing.
Oh, you have no idea.
Is this a part of your character, or is this just you?
It's just me.
All right. So he looks toward one of the hallway which leaves this large chamber, and just go down this hallway. It's the second door to the left. Yeah, that they went left, huh? Yeah. Well, it's a shaft going down. Even if you don't take the right one, you'll eventually find them. Or what's left of them. But, yeah. Second to the left. No, right. Yes, right. Second to the right. Go down and... well, depending on how far they went, just be mindful of the thick odor of blood. You'll probably find them.
I'm going then. From another to another. Okay, I'm going fast.
All right. So you start moving away at a relatively fast pace. Hold on. You're a druid. I think your passive perception is relatively high. Passive
it's
perception.
14.
Yeah. All right. So you keep on going. Go straight toward where he pointed you. And as you start moving about. All right, well, one door, one hall, second. Yeah, there's actually a empty elevator shaft there.
Is there a button to call the elevator or something?
Well, usually if the elevator shaft is not there, if the elevator shaft is empty, it usually means that the platform has been lowered to another level. There is a manual way of getting it back up. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but
And the one on the left side? Is that one still there?
well, as you look around, you see that the second door to the left is much further down the hall.
Okay. Do I? Oh no, don't think climbing would be a good idea.
You don't know how far it goes. It's a. I believe you have dark vision, but as best as you can tell, when you're looking down, it's way too far down. However, you do see a little bit of a faint light, maybe 200 feet down. It's really small, and it does seem to be light source of some sort, probably from a lantern, something like that.
I'm trying to get the elevator up manually.
All right.
I don't know how, but I'm trying.
Make a perception roll.
Perception.
It's not complicated, but you've never seen this, so it's...
Not a bad roll. 23.
You called that not a bad roll. All right. So you look around and you easily find this huge gear with a few levers on it. You get the feeling that you're going to have to pull on this. So the platform might be coming back up very slowly.
The question is, does my character have enough strength to do that?
Well, it's made for the average dwarf, and you have a strength that is pretty average, so you should have enough.
I still have the feeling that dwarves are stronger than my character, but I'm trying.
Well, dwarf, because of their height, they have a good constitution, but they don't have an excessively interesting bonus to their strength. So, from what I'm looking at your character sheet, you might be easily in the average of what a dwarf would, of what it would be for a dwarf. Actually, I think you're just high average.
Well, I'm pulling.
All right. So, Anvara, audience, Remy, and Fisher, you have all just finished preparing everything that you needed, and you're just about to reach the platform and start embarking on it when slowly you start seeing it move and slowly rise. It is leaving without you. Slowly.
Fuck no.
Raimi would like to double dash toward the elevator.
That's easy enough to do. You easily get to the elevator. You get on. It's not...
it's not like he dives into it. It's just like, you are not leaving me down here.
All right, so Remy just jump on the platform, goes in the center of it, make sure that he's not going to fall from anywhere of it. Fisher, Anvara, and audience. The platform isn't leaving very fast. but it's leaving.
Audience is gonna take because he was carrying the thing on his head, he's gonna try and hurl it into the elevator and then run after it and jump in.
All right, make an athletic check.
Oh, I'm good at those.
Yeah.
I get +6.
Is
21.
21, yeah, you easily do this. You look like someone throwing weights at the Olympic. You just see the platform starting to move. You run for a few steps, reach for the huge carcass, and just throw it in a very competition. It gives you a look of as if you were doing this for a camera, which wasn't actually there. It's done with style, with strength, and with charisma, because you're a paladin. You know.
Nice.
No, don't worry. Raimi is there watching, clearly admiring the show that that audience is putting on for him unknowingly.
Definitely not kind of being in the way as this carcass is getting shot at you.
Well, I guess that audience would not throw it directly at Raimi.
I would not throw it directly at Raimi. I would try and throw it to the side of Raimi.
Yeah, no, Raimi is just now in the corner, just looking over, just staring with that glow of admiration in his eyes.
So, doing this in a very athletic way, with the charisma of a paladin, throwing a large object, making sure that everyone sees the epicness of this before getting on the platform gracefully, as if it had always been meant to look like this.
Alright.
Anvara and Fisher in front of this spectacle.
we can't hear you, Fisher.
Fisher, you're muted.
Of course I am. Does it look like it's going slow enough that I can just walk onto it?
Probably.
I'm just gonna
was
walk
already
up to it.
not going up very fast, but now there's weight that's being added to it. Remy doesn't make much of a difference, but the carcass, audience...
It's a hefty,
Now it's getting difficult for
370,
me.
340.
I'll just, casually walk over and step up onto it.
Anvara.
Kind of giving a little head shake at the other two who maybe panicked a little unnecessarily.
Anvara, as you get close to the platform rising up, maybe the platform has raised as high as halfway to your chin. No, sorry.
Okay. Well, even then, Anvara clearly has the strength to do a chin up. I'm sure she can get on.
Yeah, no, sorry. Not chin, but shin.
Okay. All right. I'll
Different
just
place
do
on the
it like
body.
a bit of a hop and turn around, just like I'm sitting on the edge of it, then just pull myself back.
And since you're an elf, you can easily do this quite gracefully.
Party has never looked better entering an elevator.
Except I just realized I hopped with a broken rib or some shit because I'm at less than 2/3. Less than 1/3.
She just jumps and turns around gracefully, and then you hear...
Is the elevator still moving up, or is it basically stopped now?
I'd say, Valtteri, I make a strength check. There's suddenly been a huge amount of weight that's just been added on this thing that you are manually raising.
18.
18. Well, you can still manage, but you went from just pulling on this and
Already sweating.
to suddenly
and stuff.
doing. Oh, what the? So as you're
Elvar looks at audience, get off badass.
So
Audience
as you're all looking at at each other, rising. Good lord, there's so much problem with the feed. I'm getting so much lag. All right, well, I guess OBS is having trouble.
Not bad.
All right. Aha. Oh,
That's all right.
well, it's all right on Skype. It's OBS that's having trouble. Let's see. No, even my computer isn't finding this too hard. All right, well, it's OBS. Maybe there's been an update and I wasn't. All right, so we're gonna have to keep on going with this. All right, so you all get in, and as you look down, you see Orunak, who's just looking at you all,
Oh,
saying,
fuck.
well, it's starting to be a bit high for me. I don't mind staying here if you think you're gonna come back down. Or I could just give you the acorn and go back. Or you could lift me in.
Can audience reach down his arm and be like, take my hand?
Yes.
I will assist.
Oh, well, then you easily pull him on the platform. Well, it's...
Great, even more weight.
Yeah. So, yeah, now you have a Dragonborn, a Warforged, which is a lot of weight. You have a 5-foot tall, well, essentially a bonsai oak. And a Kenku and an elf, which by themselves maybe weigh as much as one person.
Perfect workout.
Oh yes, you're really getting it. You're starting to sweat from this, and it's... Audience, Anvara, Fisher, Remy, since you've used this thing to go down before, you know how to make it go up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I look for a way to make it go up faster? Because this is not gonna work.
Very easily.
Unless we want to take a short rest on the elevator as it's going up. Just chill for an hour.
To be honest, I even think you could do a long rest.
Well, no, a good short rest of an hour, it's like sleeping on the couch that the movers are actually moving. You can if you want to, but yes, it's easy to just restart this mechanism and get everything moving so that the platform rises much faster and under its own power. So which one are you going to do?
Make it go faster.
Make it go faster. So suddenly, Valtteri, you are working out like you're not used to sweating that much, and suddenly it just starts going up quite easily. Yeah, and in fact, you think that you don't need to keep on pulling on these levers and these manual mechanism to get the platform up.
I carefully let go just to make sure that if it stops dropping that I can catch it.
Alright, so you let it go, and then suddenly it falls now.
Well, D6 damage. No.
You try to stop it, and you get catapulted by the mechanism because it's too heavy.
Just imagine, like, you like slowly hear a louder sound of someone screaming and then just falling onto the carcass.
No, you look down and you have a very familiar image of the roadrunner and the coyote. Alright, so you see the platform doesn't go down at an incredible speed. It starts going up at a normal speed, and you get the feeling that something heavy is coming up.
I'm catching my breath at the time.
Alright. And while it's coming up, what do? You know there is a very dangerous and large creature down there.
First, like, I'm looking down trying to see if I can see something.
No, as far as I know, no one has any sort of light on them, so you just look down and you don't see the faraway light that you were able to see, so the platform is going up. But it's way too far down to see what's there.
Wait, I thought there was like a lantern on the elevator.
Oh, it was just in front of it. On the elevator. Well, do you want to keep it? Do you want to keep it open?
I'd like to see.
All
If
right.
there's not a lantern, I'd light a torch
All right.
as it got away from the light of the tunnel.
Yeah, no. Yeah, sure. They're dwarf. They're not mole people. They actually have light. So, no, it's... I know that some would argue that mole people and dwarves are very similar, but they're not. So, yeah, you can easily open light. So, as this platform is rising, you suddenly see the light just... Okay. It's still a bit difficult to see what's down there. There's definitely something shiny. There's an odd smell of blood and guts that is starting to reach you.
Oh boy.
You sort of see movement, but it's a bit odd what you're seeing. There's... Anvara, do you have a hood up or...
Do I have a hood?
No, I'm wondering. Well, if you have a cloak, there's a hood usually on a cloak.
I have vestments, but I don't think there's a...
All right. What color are your hair?
Red.
All right, exactly like the picture. All right.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
So you see this little patch of red moving one step to the right, one step to the left. You see something shining. You see this odd pattern of darkness moving about. And something reflecting light on another corner. And it's all coming up with a very strong smell of blood and gore, as if you were walking inside of a butcher shop just after they received the creature.
I go a few steps back and kind of ready to attack with a spell if that is something that could harm me.
I mean,
I had another idea, believe me, but that is a better idea.
just drop a flask of alchemist fire down the shaft.
No, just making great water and dropping water down at you.
Well,
and that would be 20 gallons. I could make.
well, it's gonna come down as rain, but it's gonna be quite a heavy rain because it's just maybe 10 or 15 feet wide. So it's
Nah, I'm sticking with the original plan.
So you are preparing to cast a spell which will harm people. You don't have a lot of
Yes.
choice. Which one are you going to take?
Probably Moonbeam.
All right. So you're standing there ready to moonbeam something. So you all go back up, and it's a bit slow. Well, you know that it's gonna take roughly 10 minutes to go completely up using this mechanism. So while this 10 minute goes on, audience, Anvara, Fisher, Remy, and Orunak, what do you want to do? Do you want to heal yourself? Do you want to just stand there and wave
Heals. Heals sound good.
Well, casual elevator
Oh, no,
music is
princess.
playing.
Dun, 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 dun.
Randy opens his mouth. No.
I guess I'd turn to Anvara, who looked the most injured. You look like you could use some patching up. Do you have anything, or do you want me to take care of it?
I still got 4 level 1 health left. I'm gonna cure wounds myself. Twice.
All right.
That's gonna be 2d8s plus 6.
All right. Well, don't forget the bonus from your.
Yeah, that's it. I'm adding the plus 3 because it's
All right.
the first level plus 2.
All right.
Wait, why am I going? D8s.
You know, as the elevator is going up, like Raimi was very nervous, but as it's like visibly going up, he's starting to relax a bit more. He's still kind of like clutching the gems in his hands, but he's starting to noticeably relax more as he knows that the elevator is going further back to the surface.
I just healed myself for 9.
All right.
So yeah, I just slapped the part of my ribs which was just reduced to dust. Is anyone else looking messed up?
I mean, I'd lay on hands myself for probably, I think, 10 HP. Probably
Didn't I
just-
max you?
No, I was at 21.
Much do you need to be maxed?
I don't need to be max. I'm at 31 now after I used 10 of my own. So.
Alright. Anyone else looking scuffed?
I don't know, a little bit, but nothing super severe.
I hit
I
a
still
roll.
got my healing. So.
Maybe just looks nervous, but otherwise he's healthy.
Oh, I'll still cure wounds, Fisher, for that.
Okay.
Good lord.
Actually, I guess I'll use my last 5.
Well, you just got a max heal, so that's gonna be 8 plus 3. You got 11 back.
Isn't it?
Oh, it certainly
Are your
helps.
cure wounds plus 6?
Because you're light.
Because you have your wisdom modifier, and then you have your life cleric thing.
Hold up.
Let's see. The spell description for cure wounds.
Cycle.
It's 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, plus the bonus from your life cleric. So
Alright, so it's a plus 3 plus 1. Okay, so it's plus 4. Because my wisdom.
your wisdom is plus 3, and plus the bonus of your cleric of life. And then
It's a level 1 spell, so. Just a plus It's
I-
plus
Isn't it
4.
2 plus the level? I'm trying to remember.
all right, let's settle this. Why is my
Whenever
Whenever
you
he's-
use a spell, the first level or higher to restore HP regains an additional HP equal to 2 plus. Oh, yep. So plus 3 plus whiz. So plus 6. Jesus Christ. You got 8 plus 6. You got 14 HP back.
That should full
Enjoy.
heal.
Yep.
We are all full HP again.
And Vara's gonna take out her shoulder cloak and drape it over her shoulder where her armor's been completely shit-housed.
I think your microphone is slipping a bit. You're starting
Oh.
to sound a bit robotic.
Is this better?
Yes.
All right. Did you hear what I said, though?
Most of it, we heard numbers.
Shoulder
Okay.
cloak to
Shoulder.
for his.
Yeah, I was going to take my shoulder cloak to hide the part of my armor which got scuffed up during the battle.
All right. All right. Sorry, I also had a problem on my side. There is one program which decided to die on my hand, so I had to restart a few things. All right. What's this? And come on. All right. Don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to keep on rolling with this. All right. So healing done. There you go. All right. So you slowly rise up, and eventually you reach the top of the elevator shaft, where you find yourself in front of Valtteri, who is preparing to cast a spell. The moment that she starts seeing things rise from this, and the first thing that Valtteri sees is scales and the smell of blood. Do you wait even more to see if there's friends under those scales? Or do you just attack as a reflex?
Is the pile of skills moving for me, or is it just staying still?
Hold on. What's your passive investigation?
11.
Yeah, all right. No, if it was very low, I'd say you get confused by the fact that the elevator is slowly starting to stop moving, so it's shaking. But no, you've got enough of a. You're smart enough to realize that it's the movement of the elevator. So no, the scales aren't moving much. And slowly the elevator keeps going up, and you start seeing the head of audience. Looking at you with blood on him, on his weapon, a bit on his face, weird color. There's this smell of butchered animal coming from him. And then you see Fisher. And then you see two other peoples that you remember briefly seeing them in the garden, but you didn't talk to them. You don't. It's just sort of a, oh, yeah, all right. I've seen them in the garden, but who are they exactly? So
I'm just standing there, like with my hands still ready to do something. I'm like,
because Valtteri hasn't seen Anvara and Remy before, I'd say, Anvara, what does Valtteri see?
You see what you would expect any type of wandering cleric to look like, holy symbol, like rough-looking chainmail, shield, and I think, I have I'm using a longsword. Longsword, sheath at her hip, longbow across her back. Like, she's ready to fight, but she's pretty chill. Red hair, gray eyes. That's about what you see.
All right. Remy, what does Valtteri see when she sees you?
Yeah, so you will see what appears to be a 5-foot-tall raven-like creature. He is with amber eyes. He is wearing what appears to be a very gaudy, violety purple cloak. And even as the light from the tunnel starts to go on, it kind of shines a bit, and you kind of see this creature kind of distracting himself with what appears to be gems in his hands. But then he looks up and sees you and immediately hides behind Fisher.
Great.
Don't worry, Remy. That's a friend. It's been a while. I see you decided to join us.
And Anvara and Remy, Valtari, what do they see?
Well, the kind of typical tiefling look with purplish reddish skin, black hair, white eyes. She's wearing a cloak and a scarf, and a dress that is going to her ankles. And she doesn't see. You don't really see a lot of pouches or anything because she has them like hidden under her cloak. And she has a. Wait, now I have to look for my weaponry. I think it was a quarterstaff. And she has a quarterstaff and a dagger on her belt on the side.
All right.
And she has also her horns are like in a wave, like moving like this and then up in the back. And her hair also has some feathers and stones as decor on her horns and into her head, faded a little bit on some parts.
All right. So, Fisher was just asking you how you have been. It's been a while. To put you back into context, for you, it's actually been around, I think, 4 days.
Yeah, probably.
It's been a while since I first saw you.
She's still just standing there in shock, just like needing a few minutes of like her brain like working this out. What she's just seeing, like the huge carcass there, two new people, you two covered in blood,
And a small elemental tree. Well, 5-foot tall elemental tree looking like an oak.
Audience will hop out of the elevator upon seeing Valtteri walk up and kind of put down the shell next to her and be like, hey, look what we caught. We found the Umber Hulk. Kind of slapped the shell, like, took care of that.
Umbra Hulk?
Yeah, it was this big beetle-like creature. I don't know. Wasn't too hard. Took care.
Anvara winces a bit when he says not too hard.
I'll take your word for it. I don't really remember that much about it, but sure.
The small tree elemental,
right.
well, the 5-foot tall tree elemental all say, yeah, same thing. It was the weirdest fight. It started and then it ended. And
Isn't
then
that
those
how
two
every
and
fight works?
well, usually there's something that happens in between that makes the fact that two people are bleeding make sense.
I'm kind of getting the flashback of what we once had to see.
Audience
Fisher,
will leave.
if Fisher, if you remember.
I mean, little different.
Who are the two with you?
Yes. Remy is the Kenku. I'll point to Remy. It's hard to understand him. I know he likes shiny things. And then Andvara is the elf lady over there. She's another religious type who, worships a false god. But, she's okay. She does some good stuff.
Remy peeks his head from behind Fisher's body and stares at her.
I just had the weirdest idea in my head. Is it possible for me, with a Kenku, to use speak with animals?
I'd say make an intelligence roll to see if
Or
you've
is-
ever seen, if you know what a kenku is.
Or would their intelligence be too high to do that?
I mean, do you want to know Raimi's intelligence? It may surprise you.
It's
He actually
a,
outclasses everyone.
it's a 16 that I just rolled.
16. Oh. Kenkus are a rather rare race in Shattered Continent, pretty much like turtles. You've heard of them, but this is the first time that you actually see one. What you know of them is a bit fragmented. You know that it's hard to talk with them. You can't exactly remember why. You know that they have a very different way of speaking. That's about all that you remember. You could try, but speaking with animals is gonna work on animals. Technically, he is, but also if he knows how to speak with people, you'd be losing. You'd be wasting a spell. So
Yeah.
it's a bit up to you.
I'm just like slightly leaning to see behind audience. Hi. Sorry for almost moonblasting you.
His eyes grow wide, and he like ducks back behind Fisher again.
Okay, that was wrong.
Yeah, wait, what do you mean?
Well, the dwarf dude said that you're probably dead because you were gone for 2 hours, and as the elevator was suddenly moving again, I at first only saw a pile of scales, so what are you expecting?
I guess it's a fair assumption.
That's.
It's like, incidentally, does anyone in the party understand Undercommon?
No.
Oh.
I used to speak Orc.
That was during a dream.
You just randomly forgot it.
Like you'll hear Raimi muttering something, but you can't understand it.
You just see
Well-
her hands shaking still lightly, like she's... Her nerves are gone.
Well, if you're not liking it down here, you're in a bit of luck, because we were about to head out back outside so we could talk to the garden.
There are way too many dwarves over there.
Whoa.
Well, it's a dwarf mine. What did you expect?
I'm not good with too many people.
Yeah, but why specify dwarves?
I would also freak out if there were too many humans in there.
Well,
Mm.
anyway, we need to go report, so let's head on.
Yeah.
Let's head on over.
Let's get moving. Yeah.
All right. So you all move back toward the large central room, and the moment you enter, you immediately hear some people go, "Oh, that's that smell."
I mean,
Maybe I should have dumped the water on you.
So,
It'd just be wet and gross.
And
that's
you,
what the sound of success smells like, or the smell of success smells like.
all success.
You hear one dwarf go, "Oh, well, is that the smell of one of you dead or one of them dead?"
One of them dead.
Okay. I think it's raining outside. You might want just go outside for a few minutes.
Have to report.
Yeah, we'll be back to talk with the foreman, and we'll head out the big door.
So you all just go through this huge room, hauling around a huge carcass. Well, several pieces of the Umber Hulk carcass toward the exit. You just look at all the dwarves going, "Oh." I think it's dead. So there's a interesting quiet inside the room as you all parade in front of these dwarves with, I think it's 2 wrists, 1 ankle, and the back of a Humber Hulk scales, and a huge slab
yep.
of meat on audience thigh. Still the
Right, I
pretty-
forgot you took that.
Why do you think I keep insisting that it smells
Yeah, I was like,
a
what is
butcher
just a
shop?
shell? Why does it smell so... Oh, right.
He
Have to
has a
try and eat
slab
it.
of meat slapped to his
I
thigh.
Audience 2020, I have to try to eat it.
I made a promise to a dragonborn person.
That you're trying to eat everything you're fighting against?
No, just this thing.
Just this one specifically.
Alright, so you all go toward the exit. It takes a few minutes because you're dragging around a lot of equipment. But it doesn't take an hour to get there. You redistribute the weight, you just go back outside, and after maybe 10 minutes more than what it took you the first time to get there, which wasn't a lot, you find yourself outside, and there's actually is a very gentle rain. It's really not something you're gonna be able to take a shower with, but it's a little drizzle.
I could create some water.
I'll take out the garden orb. Is it green?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will call up Syrah.
Alright. As usual, you hear her calm voice. Yes, this is Syrah.
Hey, so we killed that Umber Hulk. Got the bounty.
Oh, this is
yeah,
wonderful
look-
news.
Yeah, we're not dead.
It's a very good thing.
We discovered that it appears to have been hired by a dark elf. Dashari, that healed it while we were trying to fight it, possibly, and then escaped down the tunnel.
Oh, that's all very interesting. But the bounty itself is only for the Umber Hulk, but we encourage all of our members to explore themselves and find out what the world has for them. You all have an object which apparently seems to want you to become more than you are. So we certainly will encourage it if you want to keep on exploring, but it won't give anything more to the bounty.
Well, then I believe we'll probably, and then I'll kind of like look to the rest of the group and go head back.
Audience will nod vigorously.
Yeah. We're due for a bit of R&R.
Yeah, I think we'll be heading back. So you guys said these things can act as like a teleport, right?
Yes. The emergency transport nation. I'd like to reiterate that it is an emergency. It's for emergency use. It actually demands quite a bit of resource for us to pull someone from your realm to where we are. We have the necessary resource now, but it'll deplete whatever resource we have very fast if we keep using this as just a normal means of teleportation. We'd rather you only use this as an emergency. If you're in trouble, if you think that you are in a dire situation, maybe like if you're pretty sure you're gonna die, or there is no way to come back, because if everyone start using this just as a method of transportation, there's a good chance that when someone is actually going to need it to have an emergency evacuation, we might actually not have the necessary power to extract them.
Fair enough. In that case, I guess we'll be back in a couple days.
All right. Don't worry, the situation is not going to remain the same forever. We've actually hired a few of the adventurers to start scouting your island chain. Find new place where we could open doors. It's only going to be a matter of a few weeks, but I think eventually access is going to be much easier from around your island chain. So, but for now, I'm afraid there's only one entrance.
Sweet. All right. Yep, that's about it.
All right.
Bye.
Well, good evening to you.
And I'll hang up. So I'm assuming we want to see if we can find a cart so that we don't have to drag this crap by hand
I'm like
all the way back.
pointing at the cart I came with. Is it still there?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
It's not a big cart. It's a one-horse cart.
Yeah.
But it's going to be useful to carry what you're lugging on. But probably not the group itself. You're going to have to walk beside it.
That was good enough for me. You guys want to start... someone want to go back and talk to the audience? You want to go back and talk to the guy? I'll start loading this stuff up onto the cart.
Absolutely.
But I believe that audience had a very disappointed face when he realized that the party decided to go back to the garden.
The audience did have a disappointed face. Audience is gonna go try and finagle a reward out of the dwarf to go after the person to try and see if the party will stay.
Noise.
All right.
So maybe it's just gonna follow audience anyway, because He likes what he sees.
Yes.
Remy goes for Fisher for protection and audience for a good show. So, audience, you go back in to go talk to the dwarf in charge, and you notice that Remy is following you, looking at you expectedly. You don't know why.
I don't know why.
Fisher and Anvara, you're staying at the entrance, taking a
no,
shower in this gentle
Yeah.
drizzle.
Yeah, just gonna wipe the muck off as much as I
Alright.
can.
Valtteri,
What provides?
do you go inside with audience, or do you stay out with Fisher?
I'm petting the horse, trying to calm down. And making
Alright.
sure the horse is okay.
Well, I'd say with the high passive perception that you have, Anvara, I'd say you notice that Valtteri is probably nurturing a bit of a phobia of people and possibly artificial closed space. She looks like a kid who is trying to reassure herself the way that she's petting the horse.
Excuse me.
This is a therapy horse more than a cart pulling horse.
The horse is
At
getting a
that
lot of
moment, yeah.
attention, you know.
Her emotional support horse.
No.
Anvara will slowly approach, making sure she is well announced, approaching the druid so she doesn't get moonbeamed into oblivion.
That's only has been the first time that ever happened.
Just, like-
I'll-
Leaning like,
I'm like turning. Can I? Yeah. Do you need something?
oh well, I couldn't help but notice all the care and love you're giving to this wonderful creature. What's its name?
Well, I don't know. I am.
Oh, it's not yours.
No, the garden
Oh.
provided us it for
Oh.
me,
No,
and
actually, Amial, you bought it the first
Ah.
village, first town that you all that you met.
well, the two other people also from the garden I
Yeah,
went with, they bought that horse at the first town we arrived, and then they said I could keep it to get here.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I could
Okay.
think of a name.
oh, every living creature deserves a name.
Yeah. So you are Anvara, right?
Yes.
How did you get together with Audience and Fisher?
Dreams, hell of a thing.
Yeah.
yeah. And Valtteri, you know that it's a bit odd for an elf to say dreams because
Aren't
elves
you-
don't sleep. They can, but they usually
Yeah.
don't.
aren't you usually meditating?
Usually, yes, but there's this strange feeling I get when I sleep. It's not something I'm accustomed to and something I want to explore more detail. It's not something you can learn about from my people. Like, why would they sleep? There's no logical reason to.
Well,
Yeah, this is special. Thought I nearly died once.
oh.
Yeah, fun times.
I was just wondering because in the tribe where I came from, we also have elves there, and they're all only meditating. I never saw them like talking about sleeping or something.
First time for everything. And, so far, so good, I'd say.
So
Oh. Pipe up from the back of the cart and just be like, to be fair,
You don't really hear about constructs sleeping either. But
Yeah. But well, I already know that you kind of have to sleep to get the dreams before back then, so
Yeah. We don't really get those in trance. In trance, we can revisit memories, and since dreams create new memories, it's just a new thing to explore. It's really fascinating.
Anvara.
Is that technically right,
Sorry?
or was that technically right, or am I misremembering something?
From what? I was actually gonna mention something, so I didn't catch the
Oh.
last phrase that you said.
Oh, just talking about like how usually trance is to like meditate on past events that like
Yeah.
I just experienced. So
It's basically the same
check
thing
them.
as lucid dreaming. You voluntarily learn to control this ability that the elf has to recall, because if, an elf that never grew up with his own kind can't control this, so they're going to relive memories randomly and sometimes with the exact same strength and power that the originally have, because you were raised with elves. Yeah, it's basically recalling memories, learning how to distance yourself from them so they don't hit you as hard, and learning more from them. So yeah, it's basically the same thing as lucid dreaming.
Also, within my dreams, I find myself closer to Anarnazil. It's just the way things turned out to be for me. That's what you told me, right?
Yeah, well,
Right. All right.
it's that's all right. It's
So
something
much
that
shit
you've
to
heard.
learn.
It's something that you've heard. You've heard another priest say that sometime when you dream, since you are letting everything go, gods can have an easier time speaking to you.
Oh, so it's not that like I was getting like direct contact with my deity. It's just that I felt closer, like a bit, just vaguely.
So, Valtteri, I'd say make an intelligence roll.
great.
This must sound like absolute bullshit.
No, and actually, I'd say Anvara also make an intelligence roll.
Oh, my lovely +0 stats.
16.
16.
Two.
Valtteri,
Nice.
you know the god that Anvara mentioned. It is a god of life.
Okay.
It is of the faith of light. As a druid, you think that this god is maybe a bit overbearing, putting too much emphasis on life, as you are a druid, so
Death
you have a
is also
philosophy of the circle of life entirely. But it's not a bad god, you know.
Preservation at all cost.
so god of life, huh?
Like, you'll still have a drink with them.
I'm just the brighter half of the cycle.
Yeah. For Valtteri, it's the same thing as saying a summer that never ends in a country where there's supposed to be 4 seasons. That's a bit how it hits you in the back of the head. You know that there's a problem with this. Not a short-term problem, but a long-term one.
Well, death is as important as life, so
Anvara, your intelligence roll, what was it?
That was a 2.
It was a 2. All right, never mind. So, all right. Then we go to audience and Remy. Inside, reaching the dwarf. You actually see the dwarf looks a bit surprised. Remy, because of your passive perception, I'm gonna send you a little message, because there is something different that you also get from this. All right. The dwarf. So the dwarf looks surprised when he sees the two of you, and oh, so I'm getting that you are victorious.
Yep. We took care of the Umber Hulk. There seemed to be only one. I just wanted to mention that there was some type of elf-like creature, as it had the footprints of an elf, that apparently tried to heal the Umber Hulk during our fight, and then ran away into a passage before the fight was over, meaning it escaped. But just wanted to make you aware that there could be some hostile elves in your tunnels.
Oh. Oh, no one has ever reported anything. Are you sure of what you found? Maybe it was just another dwarf, or maybe another creature.
Nope, I'm sure. If you want to verify, I'm sure you could take some time to come for a walk with me. We could go check it out together. But
Oh, we're gonna be sending dwarves again there very shortly. There is something that we have to verify in there. There was a vein that we found that we actually need to explore a bit. So far, we've only been able to find copper here. It's a good thing that the this chef has been reopened. We're gonna be able to send dwarfs there. Thank you very much. It's very appreciated. Sorry, I really didn't expect you to come back alive. I mean, there's been so many dwarves missing, or many of them coming back injured. So, sort of expected you to just be another feeding for that creature.
I'll give a smirk. Like, I mean, who do we look like? It's easy. Yeah, it wasn't even really much trouble at all. As you can see, we're barely scratched up at all. All this blood is the creature's.
Yes, and he looks at your tie and says, yeah, and apparently you decided to take lunch with you.
Yes, I was wondering how it would taste, so, why not?
Yeah. Because, always eat what you kill. Remy, did you do anything?
Yeah. Raimi has been, during this conversation, Raimi has been kind of, watching him closely. Trying to get a good sense of, how forthright they seem to be. In terms of what they're saying matching how they're actually feeling.
Make an insight check.
Okay, so that would be... keep forgetting what my wisdom is. Okay, so that'll be a 19.
19. Alright. Well, there are a few moments where you have the feeling that he was choosing his word. Alright, so here it is. This is what you get. I'm gonna send you a direct message.
Oh, there's someone in chat Didn't notice them earlier. They say their name is Gabe. Does that ring a bell?
Somebody
Gabriel.
know?
Yeah, it's possibly him, one of the past players.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, either that or an angel who has descended unto us. I guess in either case, we welcome them.
Yeah, so if it's you, welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Good
So-
to hear from you again.
This is what you get, the moments where you feel that there's discrepancies between what he said and what you got.
Mm-hmm. He kind of like stares at audience, like during this conversation. He kind of like stares at audience. Incidentally, how far away is the entryway from where they are, give or take?
It's a few minutes of walk, so you'd probably be a few 100 feet away from the entrance of the mine.
Okay, so he's gonna he's gonna stare at audience for a bit and kind of like behind his back, point his finger, and audience, you're going to hear in your mind, "I smell a rat."
Okay, give me a second. Would audience know? So he understood kind of what Remy said, but would audience know the term of like a rat can mean like a traitor or something?
So you've been, yeah, it's a human expression, but you've been around human. Make an intelligence roll. It's not going to be a high DC.
I will make another one. Yeah, it's gonna be higher than that though. So
What did you get?
no. 2 minus 1, so 1.
Oof.
Artificial one. All right. So you know the expression. You know that it means there's something wrong about what's going on, and that it's usually centered at a person. But,
Okay.
you know, you remember hearing humans say this expression while you were on boats, but you never asked them exactly what the expression was about. But usually when they said that, someone was talking.
Okay.
Does audience have a puzzled look on his face?
Yes, I do.
Do I see this puzzled face?
With your passive perception, yeah.
Audience does not hide his expressions. He's a dragonborn. So yes.
The lightning
Right.
drool dropping.
Raimi
while
is
he's-
going to think a moment, and he will send a second message, saying, "You can't speak to a man with two faces."
Okay. I guess I'll roll intelligence check on that one too. Oh, that was actually really good for. I got a 16.
All right. Well, you'd get that Remy is probably talking about the dwarf with a 16, and you know what being two-faced mean.
All right. How would I respond to that?
So there's a moment in your head where you get this. Oh, this is what smelling a rat means.
All right. Well, okay. So for now, I think audience would turn to the dwarf and be like, "Well, thank you. I'm not quite sure if our party's going to quite leave yet, but I think the rest of our plan. So we'll probably leave soon, and then kind of motion to Remy to walk away.
All right. Okay. Well, you seem to have gotten a very good reward from this. So yeah, you can keep whatever you got from this. We really don't mind. I think you got a whole bunch of carcass and lunch.
I'm just going to walk away without saying anything else. He's just going to kind of.
Although when he says lunch, as he's leaving, Raimi just kind of like shivers a bit.
He shudders for a moment.
Once we leave the chamber, I'll turn to Remy and be like, I'm just gonna try and ask you some yes and no questions. So, do you think that dwarf was involved with those who attacked us, or just a traitor and a? No, actually, I'll just start with.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not a yes or no question.
Yeah, just the first part of that.
Thanks, and he nods his head.
Okay, audience will ponder this, and then he'll be like, "Very well. I'll discuss it. I'll discuss it with the party. There's something going on here that's a lot deeper than what we might have initially thought. I don't know if we should leave yet. There's some unanswered questions lying here, and let's go talk with the rest of the party."
All right. You make your way out of the mine, and this is a nice place to take a 10-minute breaks. Break. I don't know why I keep adding S's and H everywhere when I speak in English. Good lord. I don't do that when I speak in my head.
It's because English is a really dumb language.
Try French.
Yeah.
It's also dumb.
It's so hard.
At least French is like rules that are mildly consistent.
Well,
English is all over the place.
Well,
believe me, German isn't better. There's too many rules.
Well, French, there are a lot of rules, yes, but
don't
you have
pronounce
to
any of the
know them
letters.
because a lot of these rules are no longer applied. So when you know where why this word is spelled that way, there was at a point a rule for that, but now everyone forgot it and nobody knows why this letter just isn't part of the pronunciation. So yeah, you have to know your history to know all the rules, because they don't teach it to you at school. Alright, so we're gonna go take a 10-minute breaks. We're gonna try and be as close to 10 minutes as possible, because there might actually be more to this quest when we return. See you in 10 minutes. Bye.
Tomorrow morning.
Same.
That's alright.
But yeah.
Alright.
For me, it's already in the morning.
Well, technically, in here it's already past midnight, so technically
I'm in the
it's
future.
Yeah. All right. So, welcome everyone. We're back. Everyone has taken a short rest. Everyone is eating, or has eaten, and or is drinking, and we're ready to keep on going. And don't worry, for those who are wondering why we're talking about going over time, it's just to know if I absolutely have to make sure that this is cut exactly in 1 hour, or if it's okay if I go 1 hour 5 minutes, 1 hour 15 minutes. It's not because I'm planning on going 4 hours. So when we left, Audience and Remy were going back outside of the mine to find Anvara, Valtteri, and Fisher taking a gentle shower in the drizzle outside. Valtteri petting her comfort horse. And just out of curiosity, did you take your friend with you when you left, or did you leave it at the garden?
I would probably take her with me only if she says yes.
All
If
right.
she said no, I want to stay there, then I would have left her there.
All right. No, she will have come with you. You definitely made some points with her, with the decisions you took regarding the orb.
That stupid thing.
Yes, and if you're wondering, because you weren't there, I didn't develop this on your behalf in any way, shape, or form. That's what you had already done or told me you had done. For those who might be watching this since the beginning or since a long while, the orb was a consequence of a decision.
I
Those who
didn't
took
make
it regretted it.
a decision I took but didn't make yet. From far, far back, like at the beginning of
Yes.
this whole campaign.
All right. So, Anvara, Valtteri, and Fisher, you see Audience and Remy exit the mine. Slowly walking toward you, seemingly thinking about something, which is a bit odd for Audience, but still. Sorry, I just couldn't resist.
Did you manage to get anything?
No, but I did learn something interesting. While I was talking to the dwarf, Remy was able to perceive that the dwarf seems to be hiding a lot for us and seems to actually very likely be involved in the attack on us, which seems very odd to me as the Umber Hulk was attacking under dwarves. I'm not sure if we can just leave just yet, as there seems to be something much deeper and possibly more sinister going on here.
Well, I mean, if it's too much deeper and more sinister, might it be a good idea to head back, kind of stock up a little bit, and come back possibly more prepared?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we have enough information because we don't know if what necessarily is going on is, you know, what the time frame is for us. I mean, I agree. I think we should definitely take a rest and be very cautious, as we don't know really anything. But I don't know if we should necessarily head all the way back, since it's, you know, quite a ways journey back and forth.
Maybe minor illusions, the body of a dead dwarf.
You know, we've made it such a point to get this done expeditiously to make a good impression. Like in the garden, it seems strange not to return.
Well, I think we should definitely report and tell them what's going on and our suspicions and see what their opinions are on it.
Well, I mean, if we wanted to stay here,
I will accept
I mean-
if there is a place for me to use Shelter of the Faithful.
I will. I mean,
It's a small village. The shrine doesn't have a place for whomever is taking care of it to sleep. So you wouldn't have anywhere to sleep unless you wanted to sleep on the floor of the shrine. But then again, the caretaker of it might actually sleep near to you if you decide to do this. On the floor also.
All right. Sorry, Fisher, you were saying.
Where would be keep this stuff? And I'll gesture to the huge hunks of Umber Hulk carapace that's sitting on the cart. I mean, you want to like hire somebody to lug it back, but then they won't be able to get actually into the garden. So
I assumed we would just keep it with us till we headed back.
I mean, depending on how far down that tunnel goes, and I mean, we have no idea how long this could take.
I mean, we are near a town, right? There's a place.
There's the mine is something like a few hundred feet away from a village, and a day's walk away there is. A day's walk away there is a town.
Yeah, so we're near a village and about a day's walk away from a town. So I'm sure we could find one of those two locations to store our stuff while we did some investigating.
I mean, I don't know how well it's gonna store. I mean, it's
definitely gonna smell if you come back a few days later, but probably not affect the quality of it.
It's a shell. I mean, I don't think it would. It's not the meat, obviously, no, but the shell, I think, would store fine.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I don't know.
It's like forgetting you have lobsters in your trash. When you come back 2 days later, usually there's nothing left because the smell was so strong that every raccoon in the region raided your trash can. But the shell is going to be all right.
I feel like I'd still rather get paid first.
Randy once again minor illusions the body of a dead dwarf.
I'll turn to Anvara because I know she's a cleric and doesn't necessarily care as much about money and more about the good of the people, which I don't know as much for. So for Fish, I'll be like, Anvara, do you really want to, leave these dwarves possibly in harm's way with knowing that there could be a greater evil here that we're leaving unattended to?
I suppose.
Taken by the feelings.
Yeah, no, it's just... I'm just like, man, we took like the short road to get here. We did it super fucking fast, and now we're just like, hey, let's trek through the Underdark first. Like, all right, sure, I guess. But yeah, Dvara in character will agree that life is more precious than gold.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying
we're tugging at your heartstrings now.
It's also the safety of our group.
Our lives are also more precious than gold. And if we turn this in, first of all, he said, I mean, that might take, actually, yeah, we probably would leave before he was able to make something from that. But I don't know, we could stock up on more stuff. I don't know, healing potions, anything.
Well, I can heal, and we have 2 other people that can heal.
Yeah, we're like with 3 healers now.
And a tree who can use healing words.
And we don't need any rations because I can make good berries and I can create water. So
Well, I'm carrying 70 pounds of like rations right now, so I think we're all set.
And a
No one
slab
is
of
touched.
meat. And a slab of meat big enough for a feast.
None of us are, except for you, maybe are going to touch that meat.
Okay, so then you guys want to find somebody who's just gonna, we're gonna pay them to just lock this in, like, their closet or
Can
something?
we hire a storage unit?
Yeah.
We could ask by the dwarves if they have maybe something where we also can like store the horse with the cart.
I also think that whatever is going on here, our investigation shouldn't take necessarily that long, as the dwarf already knows that we're not with the regular guild or with our own separate party that hired us to take care of the Umber Hulk. We could just say that when we told our party about the person who ran away, they asked us to investigate further, which would probably draw out if there is any sinister actions, as the dwarf obviously wants to go and do stuff with ore down in that, or as he keeps saying, there's something down in that mine that he wants. So
Someone who can kind of like fade in and not be seen watching over them.
well, I'm just saying, I think that the investigation wouldn't be a very long process. I think whatever it was would probably come to a front quickly.
Hmm.
See, Aiden agrees with Fisher, but Anvara has to agree with audience. God damn it.
Yeah.
That's roleplay.
Okay, so if we do stay here, what do you guys think about, instead of hiring somebody to keep this somewhere, if we hire somebody to take it back and drop it off in, like, the closest town to the garden,
Groshill.
Groshill, and then tell them that they could pick it up there.
I still don't know if we're still welcome there.
How come?
After back then when our halfling
Yeah, it was
Friend.
a halfling.
got chased by them.
That's
Well-
his prerogative.
I mean, I think we did a pretty good job of getting him out without
What if they remember us and are chasing us?
Well, it wouldn't be us going. Oh, well, I also think the one problem with having someone bring it back is we'd have to find someone who we both trust to carry it back safely, as we encountered, quite a few dangers on the road on our way here.
they'd take the safe road. We took the short road.
Could
Remember?
we ask at the garden if they could get someone here that could take it and bring it back?
I don't know. I think that was kind of what we were being paid for.
Yeah. Anyway, I think first things first, it's pretty clear we should at least contact the garden and see their opinions on it, or if they want us just to return.
I mean, they kind of already did that. They said
Well, they didn't have the
If-
information, though, yet.
that's fair. They said if we wanted to investigate it, they would be happy for us to do so, but there's no additional bounty for us to.
But we could tell them about this new information and see if they could put a bounty for us.
Hey, we did this thing you didn't ask us to do. Can you pay us?
We just did overtime.
Okay.
Pay us.
Overtime for what? Motherfucker,
Here,
you
I'll-
killed
I'll-
the
I'll
bloody
say-
Seem to be
say-
good at convincing people that dragons are gods, so maybe you can convince them to pay us money to save some of these dwarves.
Very well. I guess I will pull out my orb and contact.
I will help him
Yeah, because I wanna. What screen do I touch again?
He's like the parent who gets like his first smartphone and is like always asking his kid like, how do I do that?
Yes,
Anyway,
we actually
I will-
had a problem like this. I think it was 2 episodes ago.
Yes. All right. I guess I'll hand the orb over to Fisher, and he can contact the garden for me and hand it back.
You each have one.
No, I know. I was joking. All right. So anyway, I contact the.
All right. Well, as always, yes, this is Sierra.
Hello, Sarah. This is audience.
Yes.
We have learned some unfortunate and new and disturbing information, possibly regarding the quest we were on. After going back into the mine to report the fact that we killed the Umber Hulk, one of our party members, Remy, discovered that the leader of the mine itself might have been involved in the attack on us. There's obviously something deeper going on here, and he keeps discussing something about a new ore that or something that they want in the mines. I was wondering if it would be possible for us either to stay, but for you to perhaps set if anyone would be interested in setting a temporary bounty on this, since I know you guys seek information, and there could be some new discoveries made about potentially this ore that they're looking for.
Also, I totally forgot, but did we have a time limit on the Umber Hulk bounty?
No.
They didn't
Nope.
talk about the time limit. No.
Okay.
We were just trying to be good people and impress them. There was no time.
Okay.
All right.
As a self-imposed time limit.
Yeah. Audience, I'm gonna have you roll a persuasion roll, and I'm going to give you advantage because you mentioned a few things which makes it easier.
Yeah, I did. Alright.
Well, first off, he
That's why I have
took off
him.
the top 2 buttons of his shirt, and then
Yeah. Alright, that's a... What do I get for persuasion? Do I just get a base +2? Where's persuasion?
Break
Yeah,
the
I
first
just get
couple
a
rings of his
+2.
chainmail.
Alright, that's a 19.
19. Well, yes, we are always interested in new knowledge. Well, it's a bit difficult to place a bounty on something we have no idea what it actually is, but we'd certainly be willing to give something in exchange if it's actually information we don't have. And if this ore you're talking is actually an exotic material, I am sure that one of our craftsmen would most likely be willing to give something in exchange.
Thank you. I'll say, we will look into that. Can I... So, how close was everybody while I was discussing this?
Well, Fisher
Imagine we were
is
just in a
obviously...
circle
Yeah,
around him.
Fisher is obviously
Yeah, alright.
right next to you because he's... But I don't know about the rest.
I picture
Depends
this
on-
as a caucus.
Okay.
Depending how far you are from the cart and the horse.
I mean, I wasn't trying to really hide anything. I just was gonna ask. Anyway, I'll turn back to the group. I say, well, there's our answer. If we can get a sample of something, then potentially we can gain some more money from this and do a good deed.
Alright.
Petting the horse.
You notice
Alright.
that as soon as you mention going back into the mine, Valtteri starts petting the horse frenetically. She seems to have gone up a level of stress.
Alright. Well then, I guess we gotta find somewhere to stash the stuff.
And the horse.
We might be able to just have someone go to like a stables. See if somebody can keep a horse and a cart around. You can just leave stuff in the cart, and I mean nobody's gonna want to steal Umber Hulk shell.
Also, I don't
So-
know how many people could steal it without a larger group.
Yeah.
Especially in a small village.
You hear an Elvish. Who would want that ugly thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's most likely something an elf would say.
Alright,
Okay. Say we get that done. Where would we start?
I assume we just start where we left off, back at the passage where we heard the creature run away.
Head down the
Raimi.
tunnel.
Raimi
First
will
bring
minor
the
illusion.
horse. Sorry.
Like Raimi, just minor illusions. What appears to be the floor of the mine, and with footprints in it.
Fair enough.
Maybe we should first take care of the horse and then.
Oh no, we wouldn't
Yeah.
be doing this today. We're gonna
I
go
know.
take a rest, come back tomorrow.
This would be
New endeavor.
mhm.
So we are heading to the village.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, we're kind of in the village. It's like
you're
right
just
there.
a few hundred feet away. It's.
It's next door.
Yeah, it's
I
like
s-
2 minutes.
For me, when I hear a few hundred feet, sorry, but my
Doesn't
brain
make any
just-
A
sense.
few hundred feet is roughly the size of 3 houses.
Okay. I was thinking like over a kilometer or something.
No.
Like you're
The size
looking,
of a
you're looking
football
at between
field.
like 60 or 70 meters.
Okay.
I guess I would look around for a place we could potentially stay or store stuff or spend the night then. Like a tiny inn or anything.
So-
Take the cart back
Well-
to the village.
So, Valtteri, when you're trying to figure out what is this 60 feet, it's the average size of a house with its including the driveway where the car
Okay.
gets in. So it's 60 feet is the average house.
Okay. Now the question is here the average house the same size like in America?
100 feet is 30.48 meters. So
Okay.
a few hundred feet, it's like 90 meters.
Okay,
Okay.
so in actual science units, it's more understandable.
Yeah. Science. Because, you know.
If you put kilo in front of it, it makes it right.
She blinded me with science.
'Cause Americans
Oh,
are
sorry, I'm
stupid and stubborn.
I am not getting into this argument.
You guys only use metric to talk about drugs. It's really
Yeah.
weird.
Well, if it wasn't so accessible over the border, no.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
We're gonna end up with a
How else are you
football
going to
match.
pay off those chemistry degree student loans? I mean,
I think we're gonna end the stream with a football match. Suddenly, Fisher tackles Remy. We don't know why, it just happens.
No, he picks up Remy and uses him as a football.
Realistically,
bird.
the audience can wield Remy.
Oh, I really don't think that audience would be legal for a football league. it's no, that would be too much.
Comes with his own pads and everything.
All right, so heading into the village,
Yeah.
finding
Yes.
somewhere
Yeah.
to put the cart and the stuff, and somewhere to stay.
Yes.
I often wondered what life would be here if we had all of the different species of Dungeons and Dragons. What would be legal and what wouldn't be legal?
Imagine how much more horrific racism would be, though.
Yeah, because with Dungeons and Dragons eyes, what we say race is, in Dungeons and Dragons, it's called a sub-race. In Dungeons and Dragons, we actually have races. Things with different genomes that you can try and match together all you want. It's not gonna give babies.
Did you guys ever see that Will Smith movie?
Which
Um,
one?
Which one?
Well, with
The
orcs and shit.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
the one
sort
where
of
he's a
the
cop with
Blight.
an orc.
sort
Blight.
of the
Yeah,
Shadowrunny
yeah.
mix. Yeah, I know. I didn't see it, but I know which one you're talking about.
When I hear
not
Shadowrun, I'm thinking of the Matrix.
Yeah, that
Guys,
well,
thinking-
we're
you're
so
thinking
good
of-
at staying
thinking of
on
Bright.
topic.
It was a
Bright, that's
movie
it. Was
that
light.
was created. Put it that way.
All right, let's go back to our game. So yes, we this is what the after game is for, talking about other games and other movies.
All right.
All right. So you all go back to the village. Takes you what, 10 minutes? Especially now that you have a cart, you don't have to drag around all these Umber Hulk limbs and carcasses, and so takes you maybe 10 minutes, and you find yourself in the middle of the village. Rain is not letting up, but it hasn't become any worse. It's just a small drizzle. You got inside the mine, I believe, at something like 2 o'clock. So you've been gone for a few hours, so you'd be about the right time to go to the inn. Start thinking about renting rooms, buying meals. In audience case, finding a spit to roast his... I don't know which part of the Umber Hulk you cut.
The
In my
juicy
case-
thigh. I don't know.
Remy here spit roast. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh god.
Hey, look, you advertise a campaign as 18 plus. This is fair.
I know. I know.
Wow.
What's that smell?
That
It's
was
chicken.
fast.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I know. I said every member had to be 18 and older because streaming live Dungeons and Dragons, it's 3 terms that basically implies you're gonna get a whole different kind of jokes and things like that. Yeah.
Is there a stable near the inn?
Well, yeah, it's not a big one, but they do receive food from time to time, so there is a place where you can store a cart and unload if you want to.
Is there someone there I can talk to about the horse, or is it just a stable where everyone can go and put their horse in and leave?
No, well, because it's raining, I'd say there's probably a place where you can just tie your horse, but a cart and all, I'd say you probably have to go inside and ask if there is a more
Yeah.
sheltered area.
I was just wondering if there is even a person there I could talk to.
Yeah, it's a village.
Yeah.
There's...
No, in the stable.
Oh, in the stable. Well, as you get there, probably... Oh, let's see. You never know. No, there's not.
It's a person. Whether or not you can talk to them is up to you.
There's something, it's small, brown, it has a tail, ears. Oh, it's a bunny. No, you can't do anything about this. Rather, I should say a hare. You don't find a lot of bunnies in nature.
And I guess I'll just look for a place to put the horse in.
Yeah, it's just, while you're stabling the horses, what does the rest of the party do?
I mean, I would head inside to ask about rooms and all that.
Anvara, Fisher, and Remy?
Take a wild guess what Anvara's doing.
I'd stick with audience.
Remy?
Like Ravi is definitely going into the inn, not staying out in this rain.
Oh, you never know. You could take a bird bath. You already said that you sometimes take bird baths.
This is specifically about consent. He is currently wearing clothes and now they feel wet.
Well,
It's
damn.
different if he's out in his knickers.
All right. So you all go in, and you know that Valtteri went the other way to find a place to store the horses. Of course, since it's raining a bit, there's a bit more people that are already there. You don't work in the field for very long when it's raining all the time. So, you already find a few people there, mostly humans and dwarves. Only a few halflings, maybe 2 or 3 inside. You do see one dragonborn. Seems to be tired, resting alone in one corner with his feet on the table. That's about what you find.
I guess I'd walk up to the innkeeper.
All right. Man,
Greet-
probably in his 40s. What can I do for you?
I believe me and I'll look around, 3 other companions. I assume Anvara has left to go find whatever place she could lay beneath her false gods.
At least my false god accommodates me for free.
I think he just went down a level. Before he said you had pagan gods, and now it's false god.
I love the fact that you forgot that I'm not there.
Well,
No, I said 3. 3 other companions.
Yeah, I'm not in the inn.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
But I said 3 to tell us suite of rooms. Would be requiring rooms for the night, as well as, I don't know about their food, but I'll slap the hotch of meat down the counter. If you could cook this up in any way you desire for me, that would be most appreciated. I'll pay some extra. I'll slap a gold coin on top of it.
on the meat or on the
Yeah.
tape, on the bar?
Meat gold.
Gotta
Ew.
get medieval
All
herpes. Jesus.
slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's offering money for someone to pound his meat for him. No big deal.
Well, it hasn't been 4 hours, so he doesn't have to worry about salmonella.
I would be worried about something else, but sure.
Alright,
He's safe. It's not Sam.
how does the innkeeper respond to this?
Well, surprised when you just slap this hunch of meat on his table. What is it? And then there's a cold coat on it, and he hears, "Cook it for me." Sure. Anything else you'd like with your meat?
Maybe a good strong cup of ale to help wash it down.
All right. Is there anything I should know about the meat?
It's from an Umber Hulk. I don't know. Probably never cooked that before, but
No, I don't even know what it is.
imagine a giant beetle.
Right.
Are you
I've heard
okay?
someone say that they cooked giant spiders. I guess this is gonna be the same. Hold on. Turns around and yells in the kitchen, I'm gonna need some help here. Get a woman that leaves the kitchen, comes out and, what again? I swear, if I wasn't here, you would never be able to run this in. And then she freezes and looks at this huge piece of meat on the desk. Her jaw drops and you hear the man say, "Yeah, but we get a gold if we cook it." Right. Give me a moment. She goes back inside the kitchen, brings back a huge plate, and she looks at the fork she has and yeah. She just placed it back under her apron and just alright. Takes the coin with the very gently with her finger, gives it to the man, says, "Here, dear, take care of that." And she grips the meat and just slide it on the plate and carries it behind in the kitchen.
Aiden, are you okay?
So I have these light strips, right? And, they start peeling off, and I tugged on it a little too hard accidentally, and I just ripped a huge ass chunk of paint off the wall.
Because I just saw you like this, then this, and it's just spelling fuck.
Nice.
Fuck, hang on a sec. I'm gonna unplug you. You get
Yay.
nice view of what I just did.
Room tour.
So yeah, now we got this loveliness to deal with. Yeah, it's a
blurry.
It's a bit
Oh, well.
blurry. It's hard to tell.
yes, because
Your
the
camera
level
doesn't like
basically.
the actual light.
Yeah, no, it's because the background is on blurry.
Your
Like,
camera
it's-
is evil. It doesn't like the light.
No, it's
So
the
yeah,
same thing
like,
I
all
have.
of
Like
this
it makes
is
everything
paint.
blurry except you.
All this is paint. It's gross. I'm pissed. All right.
Big oof.
Yeah.
Big
Huge
yikes.
goof.
All right. So as soon as you got inside the shrine, you sort of had that reaction because it looks like the roof is dripping. So you went. So yeah, of course. If you
try
go
to
to the
patch it.
shrine and ask for this, well, the shrine is dedicated to the light, so it is part of your fate. Not exactly yours. They're a bit closer to. Well, especially now that they're here in the mountains, you do see a few more dwarven gods than you're used to. Gods of mountains and the earth. A few nature gods, but it's still the fate of light. So he will accept. But he will tell you that he doesn't have much. I hope you're not looking for comfort.
No, it's fine. I'm used to modesty, but how much would it cost to have the roof thatched? Not tonight, but how much would it cost to contract that property? So
Well, it's most likely a few silver. We do need to get this repaired. Fortunately, I don't have any spells which would help me for this. But 2 or 3 silver might be enough to buy necessary material and ask the craftsman in the village to do something about it.
All right, I'll slide the caretaker 5 silver.
Oh, wow.
Invest and maintain.
All right, well, that's very generous of you. I don't have much, but if you want, I'll share the meal. I'll share my meal with you.
I'll buy something to eat up.
I think your microphone is sliding. We're starting to hear you in a bit robotic way.
Yeah, life doesn't want me to have fun tonight, so yeah.
No, that's all right. As long as life isn't against you, your god is cool with you. Light, it's life that's important. I just shifted toward the 5th element with this.
Yeah, but life disrespected my fucking wall, so I'm not happy right now.
They're all trials.
Is there such a thing as an oathbreaker cleric?
Paladin, yes.
It's called a person.
Fuck this, I'm gonna be a raid.
Yeah, it's a priest that suddenly decides to go against their god, basically lose their spells, depending on how bad you stray from the path. It might be very fast or very slowly, but eventually you're gonna be a peasant who knows how to fight.
So a fighter.
No, because you're not gonna have a D10.
Except less than that.
Damn.
You're gonna be just a little bit less than a fighter.
Oof. But I'm still an elf, so I know how to use a
Elves.
shit ton of weapons.
You'll be more than a peasant, but not much more.
Well, I'll just be an elf with Misty Step and a longsword. I'll have fun.
So basically a peasant elf.
I'll just go back home. That's where I'm meant to be, I guess.
Unless you find another god that is willing to actually
Let
sponsor.
me tell you about the dragons.
That would be an interesting
Just turns his back on
transition.
enough that he'll immediately like, yeah, I'm all about this shit now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Alvara's just like, I've now seen the light.
Oh, goodness. Alright, so yeah, you can easily sleep there for the night. Like he said, it's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to be something. And it's not going to cost anything. Alright, as for the rest of the party, well, it's not going to be a party once you go to bed. It's... Well, you could have basically the room that feels like a cupboard with a bed and that's it. But if you want to go higher, you have a little room with a bed, a chair, most likely just a nightstand. I don't know. And for a village, that's mostly what they have. They do have one larger room, but they don't have much. It's a village. All right, so Valtteri, you are just waiting and waiting and
I'm staying at the stable talking with Arena, giving her a few cherries. And I just saw that I still have 3 cucumbers and I have no idea why.
well, you have. Oh goodness, this is gonna be.
How old is this cucumber?
I
3
was about to
weeks.
say because at this point I think they're rotten.
Yeah, you have 3 cucumber, 3 weeks old each.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw them out.
So basically, when you reach inside of your satchel, you hear.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw them out.
You probably more have to scoop them out.
And
Is this how you make guacamole?
Who knows?
All right.
okay, so
I think
throwing
it's the hot weather. It's making us more susceptible to fooling around. Sorry for those watching, but it happens sometime. It's Dungeons and Dragons. If it's never happened to you before, it's because you haven't been playing for long enough.
Or you're with a really bad group and you need to get out now.
All right.
I'm glad
so
my spit roast joke came at like geek viewers also.
all right.
Now they're all gone.
Yep.
Okay. That's
So yeah, I'm
interesting.
staying at the stable talking with Arena, giving her cherries.
Yeah,
trying to-
but because audience
Push
hasn't
out.
mentioned anything about the stable and having to store something, you're just waiting there. And
Yeah.
waiting and waiting and waiting.
My meat. It's too focused on my meat.
So, Fisher and Remy, what do you do inside this inn? Well, you have audience that is expectantly looking at the kitchen door every 2 or 3 minutes, see if his meal is coming.
Noticing that he did not mention the cart, I will ask. So we have a cart and a horse that one of our friends is.
Well, usually when you
Hang
have
on.
a cart, you have a horse, unless someone is pulling it. It's usually it goes.
Yes. That our other friend is currently waiting with. We may be sticking around for a while, and we were wondering if we could leave it here and have you guys supervise it. We may be heading into the mine for a couple of days.
Oh, just one cart? Do you need the horse to be fed also?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, sure. We don't have a lot of people right now. Most of the festivities from the for the season have finished. So yeah, we have a lot of room. Yeah, they don't talk about this. Yeah, sure. We have room. You could easily store one. Feed for the horse. And space. How does 1 silver sound?
I will flip him 1 silver.
All right. Takes it. Looks at it with good anticipation. Oh, all right. He pockets it.
And I will add 4 copper to that and go, what we have in the cart might start to smell. So, for your troubles.
Oh, yeah. He takes the 4 copper and... okay. You said you're going to be back in... how long?
No idea, really.
But you are going to be back.
Yes.
Before the next season.
Yes.
Alright.
Just like a week tops.
Alright.
Most likely like 2 days. Hopefully.
Alright. 2 days.
Otherwise things are really not going well.
Well, let's just say that I'm going to take your cart as collateral if you don't come back.
Fair enough.
Alright. Oh, goodness.
Though he'll never get the smell out.
Yep.
So he turns around and you hear him say, "Son, come here. There's a cart inside. Well, you know where we store the cart. Could you just tell me what's inside?" Looks at the man. "Yes, father." He really doesn't seem to want to be doing this, but he goes out anyway.
He will be surprised when he sees like a tiefling sitting on the cart talking to a little creature.
So yeah, he comes out and let's see. Alright. And what is your Oh, okay. So he comes out and just stops in front of you and my dad said that there was something to take care in the cart. Is that you?
No. I was just waiting so my friends can tell them in the end that we have a cart and a horse to be taken care of.
Okay, well, it's been said. I think they're cooking your meal. Yeah. What's inside the cart?
Oh, some Umber Orc pieces?
Okay. So he goes around the cart and goes back and just lifts. Well, did you put anything on it, or did you just leave it like this the whole way you were traveling, getting
Alright,
so
let me
much
look
rain?
if I have a blanket. I don't have a blanket.
I think I do.
Oh, I have a winter blanket.
I was gonna ask if it was a covered or just hauling scraps of monster around town for everybody
Oh,
to
I
see.
don't have a blanket. Shit.
Look for winter blanket. Look for winter blanket. That is what I have.
Well, the question
Nope.
is, did you put it on top of it?
That is a good question.
Did you put your blanket on top of meat and bits of creatures?
Yeah, never mind. That would be really. It's not covered.
All right. So he just walks at the back and look and
Yep.
yeah. Is that like a lobster? Is it gonna smell as bad?
I don't know. But from the stench of the guts and blood back then, probably yes.
He turns around and says, "Dad, I think we're gonna need the neighbor's dog."
Why?
Have you ever left leftovers outside under the rain in a village?
Nope.
There's going to be a lot of animals here tonight. We're gonna have skunks, we're gonna have raccoons, maybe a fox.
I mean, that would be a perfect opportunity for me to watch them. Maybe I could draw some of them.
Dad, there's a weird lady here who says she's gonna sleep with the carcass. So from inside the inn, you see Audience Fisher and Remy. You see the innkeeper just... Do you do this often? Looking at the three of you inside.
By do this, do you mean run into awkward social situations? Generally. Nobody here is good at talking to people.
Nope.
I will
Except him, but he's busy.
Okay. So is what he said true? Is the woman in there gonna sleep outside watching over the carcass?
She does.
I'm not sleeping, I'm just watching the animals coming. Drawing
I don't
them.
know. It's kind of weird.
Thanks.
You can't hear this. We're inside.
That was out of character, thanks.
Alright, so... What's in the cart, son?
Oh, it's the
Looks
shell
like...
of the thing you're cooking.
Looks like it came from the ocean. He turns toward all of you. Oh. Alright, well, I already said 1 silver, so I'm gonna go with 1 silver. Promise me you're gonna be back here in 2 or 3 days max.
Audience,
We're up
kind
to
of
be-
give him a confident smile. Be like, "It shouldn't be a problem."
It would have just been tonight, but I was
Maybe.
overruled.
I want to help you, Andre. I really.
Well, if you decide to come back to the inn and eat with everyone for the evening meal, we could say that you arrived just now and you look at all these people looking at one another awkwardly, wondering what's going on, with the exception of Audience, who is, as always, looking, smiling confidently at everyone as if everything was normal.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk in, look at Fisher. What's he being smug about?
Who, me or him? Pointing to the barkeep.
Shiny boy.
Oh.
For any minor
Okay.
illusions, the appearance of the meat that he collected earlier.
Is she the person that was inside the cart? Pointing at
No.
Alvara.
Hmm?
No.
No,
I'll gut him.
Because
just praying.
all he knows is that a woman was outside, and then the woman came in, and she talks to all of you. So, you know,
I'll go. Give me a minute, and I'll walk outside and find Valtteri. And is the
hi,
kid still
Fisher.
out there?
Oh yes, he's still there, and he has a stick, and he's just poking at the carcass, trying to scoop out a bit of the yucky thing inside.
Hi, Fisher.
Hey, so are you? The kid said you're staying out here tonight.
No, I just wanted to see if there are a few animals coming that I can draw, and then I would get back into the inn.
Okay, that's what I figured. Uh,
She has like an innocent smile.
everybody's hanging out inside. If you want to join us,
Yeah, sure.
okay.
Are there a lot of people in the inn?
I'd say no, but I mean, what's a lot?
More than our group?
Yes.
Fine. I guess. Is the horse taken care of?
Yeah. They'll take care of the horse and the cart and the shell thing.
Then I get off the cart and go to Fisher to follow him.
Okay. I'll go back inside. Like, this is the one that was out by the cart.
Right. Alright, I get where the confusion was. Valtteri, you notice that he's looking at your horns when he says that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he looks at Valtteri, he looks at audience, he looks at Anva, he looks at Remy, then he looks at Fisher.
We are the weirdest bunch that could have ever happened.
And then he looks outside and he sees a 5-foot tree just walking around in circle with his hands
I
up.
totally forgot.
He's still
Just
with us.
taking in. Well, nobody said he could leave, so he just kept. He
Yeah.
just stayed with you. And he's just taking in the rain and just.
We totally forgot it.
So, well, you should definitely charge admission for this. All right. I'm sure your meat is going to be ready in 10, 15. You hear in the kitchen, at least 40 minutes. Yeah, she knows more about this than me.
Audience looks disappointed. And then perks
Yeah,
up.
no, that's his. Nobody else wants to eat that.
I'm making myself
Right.
good berries.
Because that makes sense. And oddly enough, this is
Constitution
the
save with every bite.
And oddly enough, this is the thing that you all said which make the most sense. Alright, well, I'm going to go talk to normal people.
We are normal people.
When he said that, he glanced at the two halflings, who, ever since you've been there and talking, have just been at both of you. So,
Can we still buy some rooms first?
yes, definitely.
Before you're running off?
We don't have very spacious room. This is just a small village. It's usually just a stop. So we do have the basic room. It's mostly just a bed. It's gonna be 7. Did I read that right? No, I didn't. It's gonna be 7 copper for them. If you want something a bit more, we do have a few rooms, which are just a bit more comfortable for 1 copper, 1 silver each. We do have 1 more comfortable room for, people who might be coming from from the port town. Sometime they do get important people coming there. But we only have one room of those, so...
I'll take the average one.
Alright. So it's gonna be 1 silver.
Oh, the one under it.
Oh, 7 copper then.
The average.
Alright, so...
Good thing I have 8 copper.
Yeah.
You need me to pass you some of my 545?
You're still the richest.
You need to
of
go to
us.
a bank, dude.
He just needs to exchange
It's
his
like 5
coins.
gold.
Yeah.
The audience would think about exchanging money. Nope.
Well, maybe if you exchange them for gems.
Maybe. But probably not.
You're really quiet.
He doesn't notice the weight. Still under
That's
comfort.
fair.
Well, it's
At that point, it's not weight, it's space.
and the noise. But to be fair, it blends
He
in
already
with
is
the
noisy.
noise of his chainmail when he runs. It's just that it's weird because when he takes his chainmail off, it keeps doing when he runs.
It's a comforting sound for me. Excuse me.
All right, so who else is going to take a room for the night?
I spent 10 copper for the average room instead of 1 silver.
It's the same thing. He's gonna accept. Remy?
Remy puts down a silver coin.
All right. Fisher?
I'll just hang out with the cart.
Yeah, because you can smell.
I can smell. It's just...
Okay.
I want to make sure it's...
He can just choose not to.
I want to make sure it's well looked after.
All right. That's
While
easy
we're
enough to
here.
do. So tonight... the
Also,
cart
I would
is-
like to,
Yes.
if I can, clean the shell.
Yes,
of
you can
any
spend...
leftover bits.
You can spend a bit of time trying to scrape off any bits of meat, and especially you have an axe, so you can just use the side of the axe and scrape it inside. So it's easy enough to do.
You got arrows too.
It's gonna smell less.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Anvara, I know you don't need a room, but food. Is there anything she'd like to do inside the inn?
Is there anything of note happening in the inn?
Your group.
Yeah.
You get the
We are
feeling that
looking at
you
notes.
are the biggest show that these people have seen since the festival at the beginning of the season.
Okay, the misfits notwithstanding, is there anything of note in this bar?
Mostly humans and dwarves finishing their
Alright.
day. The innkeeper is going to go with the halflings and talk to them. And there's a dragonborn who seems to be wishing to be alone because he's just leaning on the wall with his feet on the corner of the table, not paying attention to anything.
Time to kick his chair from under him. No, I'm just gonna. Okay. I'm just gonna head back to my sanctuary, have a bit of a prayer, and have a bit of a trance tonight.
All right. As far as meal go,
I'll have breakfast the next day. If I'm not gonna get an exhaustion point from not eating, because I did have breakfast.
If you would have waited, I could have given you a good berry, but you just had it out.
well, with your high passive perception, you easily noticed that Valtteri doesn't want to eat what audience put on the table, and she did go into a corner and generated good berries.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested in this Flintstones ass piece of meat that you just got lobbed on the table, so I'm just gonna dip and have some oatmeal and an apple.
Well, good berries get your hunger away, so.
Yeah, but oatmeal tastes like nothing. It nourishes me. That's all I need.
He's an oatmeal guy.
That bar is 12% oatmeal.
It's like what more do I need but my oatmeal?
She says with her eyes blank. I only
She
need
eats oatmeal while she transes also.
Yes.
All right. So while you eat your mush while trancing, what does everyone? Eventually, audience, of course, your slab of meat comes back. It is roasted, as if it was roasted on a spit by someone who really didn't know how to roast this. There's been an attempt at hiding the fact that it's probably closer to well done than rare or medium. A few spices, a bit of pepper.
Alright. I mean, I'll dig in. How does it taste?
How does it taste? Oh, goodness.
Roll percentile.
Well, actually, I rolled a 5 on a D20. So, it's a bit leathery. You get the feeling that it's not because of how it was cooked. The Dragonborn that told you about creatures that live in darkness, you feel that it was partially right. There's sort of a bland thing. It doesn't even taste like chicken. It just tastes like.
It tastes.
Yeah, it tastes. Maybe it's the place where you took it. It's very bland. Even with the spices and the pepper. A bit tough. You chew on it and... Well, it practiced the mouth.
Alright.
But eventually you get through it. It's still meat. You do feel like it's... it's doing its thing. You don't get sick from it, so it's definitely edible. And after this huge chunk of meat is done, well, you feel full. You would have liked it if it had been a bit better spiced, but other than that, yeah, that's you can survive on it.
And Raimi was watching this entire feat the whole time. Just in fascination.
I'll comment. I'll be like, all in all, could be better, could be worse. Fills you up.
You see the owner of the inn say, I'm gonna keep that in mind if someone else ever asks about this. Ever.
Nothing like a gut full of meat.
I have a feeling that my customers will keep asking for fish, pork, and the occasional goat.
Add a specialty of Umber Hulk, every once in a while. People will always pay for specials if they don't know what they are.
We'll keep that for special occasions. All right. Anything else?
When I was in the stables with the cart, Was the boy still out there?
Yeah, he's gonna stay. Mostly because he's looking at this, and after a few moments, when he realized that you're there, he starts looking at you. But it's sort of a wow. I've actually never seen one so close. What do you do?
I hit things and research stuff.
Oh.
A little bit of magic.
So can you say a lot of different things, or did they just put in a few specific phrases when you were made?
I can say whatever I want to say.
Wow.
I was made over 3,000 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anyone on this island 3,000 years ago. So, did they just leave you here and someone found you?
Well, I don't actually remember back that far, and
So how do you know you're
I'm not from here.
3,000 years old?
Like I said, I research stuff.
Oh. Are there more?
Of
Like
me?
you? Yeah, I know. I mean, I heard.
Yes,
You know.
there are more like me.
Yeah, wow. So did they tell you to watch over this? Is that why you're here?
They didn't tell me to. I decided to.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard about that. I actually have a cousin living in a village 5 days away from here, and his village bought a construct, but he suddenly decided to not help them do the harvest. They really didn't like that. They spent a lot of money on it, and he just left.
It's not surprising. Yeah, my story's a little different. When I did that, I kind of killed most of the people that were using me.
Wow. So you see him taking a few steps away.
They were bad. They were bad people. They deserve. I'm not gonna do that here.
Yeah. Okay. That's very good. That's very interesting. So.
Pack your shit, boys.
So yeah. It was very interesting getting to know you, Mr.
Fisher.
He looks at the carcass and. Okay. Yeah, bye. And he just leaves. And inside the inn, the audience, Valtteri and Remy, you see a kid walking in really fast and going to his room. And then you hear stuff falling over inside that room, being packed against the door.
typical day.
I will to the horse. I will say, if Valtteri asks, don't tell anybody about that. That definitely could have gone better. And I'll go back to cleaning out the umbrella stuff.
All right. All right. Well,
Like specifically before audience goes to sleep, Rami is going to walk up, looking kind of shy, and then ask in the innkeeper's voice, "Is there anything you would like for me to do with your meat?"
I
Fuck off.
Okay, never mind. I will not do what I wanted to do.
Fuck right
You
off.
go eat his meat.
oh, you know what? I'm just gonna roll for that. Okay, audience has no idea what's going on. I
Don't
think I
open the
ate
door.
all. I think I ate all my meat. I think it was okay. Maybe next time if you want to try some, that'd be fine.
Rami just looks at him, lowers his head, and just walks over to his room.
Audience looks kind of confused and then walks into his room.
And I'm still awkwardly sitting at the table.
and so now you are alone in the bar in a inn that is slowly emptying itself of your party members and of the citizen of this village, all going away in their own time, looking at all of you confused, bewildered, scared. There's a whole rainbow of emotions there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because I forgot, does my character, not me, but my character know what my object does? Or do I have to find it out still?
Oh, actually right now all you know is that you need to attune to it for it to awaken.
Attune, I don't know what that word means. Wait a second.
We have to do quests until the objects think we're worthy.
I'm translating the word.
Oh,
Oh.
attune is like another way of like a bond
Yeah.
or like a connection.
Okay. Okay.
So while you were in the garden, you witness audience tell his entire life story to his object. You witness people trying to identify it and do stuff with it. And then the word got passed around that you needed to attune yourselves to the object by showing it. Who
Audience
you are.
actually figured it out in a shocking turn of events.
I kinda have an idea, but I don't know how that will turn out.
All right. So, Valtteri, since you're the last one inside the inn, what do you do? You're
What I always do when I'm alone, drawing.
All right, and so this episode ends with Valtteri looking around at the reactions of everyone, taking out a sketchbook, a quill, dipping the quill in ink, and start drawing all the pretty animals that are going to visit the rotting carcass outside. Each
Now I'm
one
gonna
of
draw
them.
the horse.
All right. Well, since we all seem to be slightly more tired than usual.
Except me.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna end this episode here. We're still 20 minutes over our time, so we're keeping with tradition. All right, everyone. So this is going to be the end of this episode. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, as always, we would be very grateful if you supported the stream. You can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation and becoming a patron. Or you can simply spread the word of this channel, because the more of you there will be, the more people will talk in the chat, and it's always more fun sharing the experience with friends and people who share our interest in the chat and comment about whenever a player or the dungeon master makes a mistake in calculating hit points, distance, days, retcon the name of a character without knowing it, and then gets buried on Twitter because he didn't correct himself.
We also have YouTube.
Yeah, and seriously, I really don't mind if you actually end up doing this. I'm just messing with you a bit. So, if you enjoyed the show, we hope we'll see you again next week, next Wednesday. As always, stay safe, and especially right now, since we are going through this really odd phase of everyone just not paying very attention to the whole lot of people getting sick and dying, stay healthy, please. Good night, or a good day, depending on where you are in the world, or a good evening, you never know. See you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao, bye.